Look at this split screen diagram. On the left, we have your computer's RAM. It is fast, but it is volatile. Every variable you create lives here, and when your program ends, this block wipes clean. On the right is your hard drive. Data written here stays here permanently. To save your program's work, we need a way to send data from the left to the right. That delivery mechanism is the file pointer. In C, we write file asterisk to create a dedicated bridge connecting your running program directly to the operating system's file manager. Using that bridge requires a strict three-step lifecycle: open, write, and close. Watch the screen. When we execute open with our target file name and a W for write mode, the system instantly provisions a new text file in the target directory. Writing the data is only half the process. Unless you call fclose, the bridge remains open, locking the file from other applications and leaking system memory. Writing data is straightforward. Reading it back requires a more cautious approach. It's a common mistake to assume that if you ask the system for a file, it will be exactly where you expect it. Look what happens to our diagram when we use R mode to open a file that was deleted or moved. fopen fails. Instead of a valid bridge, it hands us a null pointer. If you try to read from that null pointer, the operating system forcefully terminates your program with a segmentation fault. We prevent that crash by wrapping every fopen command in a simple safety check. By adding if file pointer equals null, we intercept the failure and trigger a safe, controlled exit instead of a hard crash. Once we confirm the file exists, we need to read its contents. We use a while loop that reads down the document chunk by chunk. It knows exactly when to stop scanning because the system places an invisible end of file, or EOF, marker at the very bottom. In a production environment, you cannot guarantee a file's presence. Validating the pointer first ensures your program survives a missing resource instead of failing the moment it encounters a missing file. Let's put this lifecycle to the test. Here's a practical scenario. We have two distinct log files. We need to extract all the data from both and synthesize it into a third, empty file called merged.txt. Pause the video right here. Look at the empty code template on screen and map out the exact sequence of fopen commands, loops, and fclose commands you will need to pull this off. Let's walk through the solution. Phase 1 requires 3 separate file pointers. 2 lines open our source logs in read mode, and the third line opens the target file in write mode. Phase 2 is the data movement. We run a while loop to read the first file until we hit its EOF marker, pushing those data blocks directly into the merged file. Then we repeat the exact same process to stack the second file's data right below it. Finally, phase 3 is the cleanup. Because we opened 3 streams, we must execute 3 distinct fclose commands. This safely severs all connections and frees the system memory. The logic used to merge these 2 files is the same pattern used to synthesize logs across an entire system. Your code is no longer limited to what it creates in RAM. It can now manipulate data provided by other programs. As your programs grow, you will notice a structural problem. Look at this code block. We have long file paths typed manually directly into the logic loops. If a folder name changes, you have to hunt down every single reference to fix it. We fix this with C Preprocessor Directives. By using #define at the very top of our document, we can assign those messy paths and buffer sizes to clean, readable variables. The preprocessor is an automated text replacement tool. Before the compiler even looks at your code, the preprocessor scans the file and physically replaces every #define tag with your raw strings. Isolating your configuration at the top of the file creates a scalable codebase. You update a file path exactly once, and the change instantly propagates through every single reference in your logic automatically. To wrap up, look at this file handling cheat sheet. You rely on 3 primary modes: the R mode to read existing files, W to create new files or overwrite old ones, and A to add data to the end of a file without destroying existing content. Keep this lifecycle in mind. Open the file, immediately check for a null pointer, execute your read or write loop, and close the file to release the resource. When you command the file system, your program's work exists outside of the execution window. You are now writing code that stores, structures, and interacts with the world permanently.